First up, 1970 for Washington quarter might seem like just another coin from the past, but for collectors and enthusiasts, this seemingly ordinary quarter holds stories of rarity, value, and the intricate world of numismatics. Minted over 800 million times in 1974. The Washington quarter was produced in 3 U.S. mints: Philadelphia No Mint Mark, Denver D, and San Francisco S. Despite the high mintage, certain factors can make specific coins from this year exceptionally valuable. Coin value isn't just about age. It's about condition. Coins are graded on the Sheldon scale, ranging from 1 to 70, with higher numbers indicating better quality. A coin's grade significantly influences its market value in fine F12 condition. A 1970 for Washington quarter typically holds a value between $100. However, this can vary based on mint mark and specific characteristics, while most 1970 for quarters remain modest in value. Rare specimens have seen significant appreciation. For example, a 197 for D quarter in MS67 condition was sold at auction for $1,450, highlighting the potential for high-grade coins to command premium prices. While the 1970 for Washington quarter may not be the rarest in the series, its unique variants and potential for discovery make it a fascinating piece for any collector. Whether you're a seasoned numismatist or a casual enthusiast, exploring the world of 1970 for quarters offers a glimpse into the rich tapestry of American coinage. The 1995p silver Washington quarter dollar, especially those found in dirty or circulated condition. You might be surprised just how much these coins can be worth in today's market. So stick around first. Let's get some basics out of the way. The Washington quarter has been a staple in American coinage since 1932, originally struck in 90% silver until 1964. After that, quarters were mostly made of copper nickel clad. But there's a twist here with the 1995p quarter. Unlike most quarters from the 1990s, the 1995p Washington quarter is not silver in general circulation. So why is this coin important? And why do some versions exist in silver? Well, the answer lies in the special mint sets produced by the U.S. Mint. In 1995, the U.S. Mint released silver-proof sets containing quarters struck in 90% silver. These were primarily for collectors and not for general circulation. These silver quarters, including the 1995p, have a much higher silver content than regular quarters now. What's interesting is that some of these silver quarters accidentally made their way into circulation or have been found outside of pristine collector sets, sometimes dirty, worn, or damaged. When we say dirty condition, we're talking about coins that are circulated, grimy, maybe with some tarnish or grime buildup. This could be due to spending, improper storage, or just age and exposure. And you might think that dirt or wear decreases a coin's value dramatically. Right, the main value of these 1995p quarters comes from their silver content, specifically 90% silver. At today's silver price, which as of now is around $250 per ounce, the intrinsic metal value alone makes these quarters worth more than face value. If you find a 1995p silver quarter in dirty or circulated condition, it still holds that intrinsic silver value, so it's at least worth the melt price, around $400 today. But there's more. Collectors often pay a premium above silver melt value for these coins, even in dirty condition, because they're rare outside of collector sets and are seen as collectible proof or mint state coins that slipped into circulation years. A quick warning: cleaning coins, especially silver, can be risky. Harsh cleaning can scratch or damage the coin, reducing its collectible value drastically. If you're unsure, it's better to leave the coin as is or get advice from a professional coin dealer to wrap things up. The 1995p silver Washington quarter in dirty condition is definitely worth checking out if you stumble upon one. Its silver content alone guarantees a value well above face value, and collectors are willing to pay a bit extra, even for less than perfect coins. So next time you're sorting through your change or inherited coin collections, keep an eye out for that P mint mark on quarters from the 1990s. You might just find a silver treasure hiding under that dirt. Next up, the Washington quarter. More specifically, we're focusing on the 1993 quarter with the D mint mark, and what makes this particular coin valuable in today's market, especially in a very fine condition now. You might be wondering, the 1993 quarter? Isn't that just another common quarter you find in your pocket or the coin jar? Well, yes and no. The Washington Quarter series has been produced since 1932, and while many years are quite common, certain details like mint marks, minting errors, or the coin's condition can significantly impact value. Let's start with some basics. The 1993 Washington Quarter features the classic profile of George Washington on the obverse side, designed by John Flanagan. The D mint mark indicates this coin was minted at the Denver Mint. That year, millions of these quarters were produced, making it a fairly common date overall. Specifically, the Denver Mint struck about 575 million quarters in 1993. That's a huge number. So generally, a 1993 D quarter is not rare by itself. However, when we talk about coin collecting, condition and specific varieties can change everything now. What about condition? You've probably heard coin collectors talking about grading terms like good, fine, very fine, extremely fine, and mint state. So, what does very fine or VF mean? A very fine condition means the coin shows moderate wear on the high points, but still retains a lot of detail. The lettering, date, and mint mark are clear and easy to read. On a 1993 quarter, this would mean that while the coin has been circulated and shows some smoothing on George Washington's hair and cheek, the overall design remains distinct. So, here's the big question. How much is a 1993 D quarter worth? In very fine condition, the short answer, usually these coins are worth about face value to a bit more because they're so common. But if you find a 1993 D quarter in very fine condition, it might be worth a couple of dollars to the right collector or dealer based on recent market data. A 1993 D quarter in very fine condition can range roughly between $300. It's not going to break the bank, but if you have a lot of these coins in VF or better, they can add up. Collectors who focus on completing sets of Washington quarters might pay a slight premium for clean, well-preserved coins. Errors like doubling on the date or mint mark, or striking errors can make a coin worth much more, sometimes hundreds or thousands of dollars if the error is dramatic and rare. Unfortunately, most 1993 D quarters are standard strikes without errors, but it's always worth checking carefully. So, should you hold on to your 1993 D quarters in very fine condition, or cash them in? For most collectors, these quarters are valuable as part of a collection, but not typically lucrative individually. If you're a casual collector, keeping a few nice examples is a good idea. If you find errors or exceptionally high-grade examples, those might be worth a closer look by a professional grader. Next up, the 1990 for Washington quarter with the D mint mark, specifically in fine condition. Could this everyday coin be worth more than you think? The Washington quarter has been a staple of American coinage since 1932, featuring the first U.S. president on the obverse side. The D mint mark tells us this coin was minted at the Denver Mint, which produces a significant portion of U.S. coinage. 1994 was not a particularly low mintage year. In fact, millions of these quarters were struck, but despite this, certain conditions and collectors' demand make some 199 for D quarters surprisingly valuable. Before we talk value, let's clarify what fine condition means in coin grading terms. Fine condition, often abbreviated as F, is a grade that indicates moderate wear on the coin, but key details remain visible. On a fine-grade Washington quarter, you'll still see the main features, like George Washington's profile, the word Liberty, and the date clearly, but there will be some flattening on the high points due to circulation. So, what makes a 199 for D Washington quarter in fine condition valuable? Here are the key factors: rarity and mintage. While millions were minted, many were heavily circulated, so fewer coins remain in better conditions. Silver content. Remember, 1990 for quarters are not silver. Quarters minted after 1964 are composed mostly of copper and nickel, so value depends on collector interest, not metal content collector demand. Some collectors look for coins from certain years or mint marks to complete their sets, increasing demand condition, even within fine grades. Coins with sharper details and less wear fetch higher prices now. Let's talk numbers. What can you expect to get if you sell a 199 for D Washington quarter in fine condition today on average? These coins are valued between $200 each. In fine condition, higher grade coins, like very fine or extremely fine, can fetch slightly more. But keep in mind, because these are common coins, their value doesn't spike much if you have a 1994 D quarter with any errors or unusual features that could increase its value significantly, sometimes up to hundreds of dollars if you're just starting your coin collection or are curious about the coins you have lying around. The 199 for D Washington quarter is a great place to begin. While most won't make you rich, a few rare finds or errors could surprise you. Always handle your coins carefully to avoid further wear, and consider consulting a professional coin dealer or grading service if you think your coins might be valuable. Next up, the 1967 Washington quarter dollar without a mint mark, specifically in extra fine condition. First, a little background. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American coinage since 1932. It features George Washington on the obverse and has gone through several design changes over the decades. The 1967 quarters are particularly interesting because they're part of the no mint mark era during the late 1960s. So, what does no mint mark mean? From 1965 through 1967, the U.S. Mint stopped placing mint marks on coins to discourage coin collectors from hoarding the coins and causing shortages during a coin shortage period. Therefore, quarters from these years, including 1967, don't have a mint mark, regardless of whether they were minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco. Most 1967 quarters are common because they were minted in large quantities, with over 600 million struck at the Philadelphia and Denver mints combined. But what can make a 1967 quarter valuable isn't rarity, it's condition. If you have a 1967 quarter in average circulated condition, it's typically worth just its face value or slightly more, maybe $250.00 to a dealer. But if you have one in extra fine, or even better, mint-state condition, that's where the value begins to climb. Coins graded as extra fine, often abbreviated as EF or XF, show only slight wear on the highest points. For a 1967 quarter, that means sharp details on Washington's hair and the eagle on the reverse are still visible and well-defined. But you might see light wear on the raised surfaces. Collectors love EF coins because they're well-preserved, but still affordable compared to mint-state examples. And since the 1967 quarter is a 90% silver coin from the era just before the switch to clad coins, its silver content alone gives it some base value. Now, let's talk numbers. As of 2025, the market value of a 1967 Washington quarter without a mint mark in extra fine condition generally ranges from about $340 depending on demand and silver prices. So, if you're a collector looking for a 1967 quarter without a mint mark in extra fine condition, is a great way to add some silver and history to your collection without breaking the bank. And if you're selling, make sure to get your coin professionally graded, or at least have it evaluated by a trusted coin dealer. Grading can significantly impact the final sale price. Also, check for any errors or varieties. Sometimes small minting mistakes can increase value considerably, but those are rare for this particular year and coin type. To sum up, the 1967 Washington quarter dollar without a mint mark isn't rare, but if you find one in extra fine condition, it's definitely worth more than just its face value, thanks to its silver content and collectible appeal. Next up, the 1979 quarter with the D mint mark, a coin that might just surprise you with its value. The Washington quarter has been a staple of U.S. coinage since 1932, and the 1979D quarter is part of a series that many collectors overlook. Minted at the Denver Mint, indicated by the D. These quarters were produced in the billions, so at first glance, you might think they're common and worth just face value. But here's the catch. Condition matters a lot when it comes to value in today's market. A 1979 D Washington quarter in good condition can still be valuable, especially to collectors who want to fill their sets with higher grade coins. So, what exactly does good condition mean? In coin grading terms, good or G usually means the coin shows heavy wear, but the main features are still visible, like Washington's profile and the eagle on the back. For a 1979 D quarter in good condition, you can expect a value anywhere from about 200.00 depending on the market and the beer's interest. It's not a huge premium over face value, but it's definitely more than just 250.00 now. If you find one in very fine or extra fine condition, prices go up considerably, sometimes reaching $100, and for collectors seeking uncirculated or mint-state coins, values can jump even higher. One thing to watch out for with 1979 D quarters is errors or varieties. While the 1979 D isn't known for major mint errors, occasionally collectors find double dies or die cracks that could increase value. Always inspect your coin carefully or get it graded by a professional. Next up, the Washington quarter from 1982 with a P mint mark. Specifically, we'll explore its value in fine condition and what makes this seemingly ordinary coin quite special in today's market. So if you've got a handful of quarters from the early 80s, this video is definitely for you. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932. The 1980 quarter, minted in Philadelphia, indicated by the P mint mark, is a common year in the series, but there's more to this coin than meets the eye. While most 1980 quarters aren't particularly rare, certain factors like condition, mint errors, and collector demand can significantly influence their value. So, what does the P stand for? That's right, Philadelphia, the original U.S. mint. City coins from Philadelphia usually don't carry a mint mark until the 1980s. So the 1980 P is notable because it's among the first quarters from Philadelphia to consistently bear the mark. Now, let's talk about condition. Coins are graded on a scale from poor to mint state. Fine condition means the coin shows moderate wear, but all major details like George Washington's profile, the date, and the lettering are clear and distinct. It's a popular grade among collectors because it strikes a balance between rarity and affordability. So, what's the market value today? For a standard 1980 P quarter in fine condition, the value mostly comes from its silver content, or does it? Actually, starting in 1965, Washington quarters switched from 90% silver to a copper nickel-clad composition. That means the 1980 quarters do not contain silver. Because of this, most 1980 quarters, even in fine condition, are worth about face value, or slightly more to collectors who want to fill a collection. In fact, these coins typically sell for around 250.00 each in fine condition. Not a big jackpot, right? Look out for mint errors, like double dies, die cracks, or off-center strikes. These rare mistakes can boost the value of your quarter to several dollars or even more. Unfortunately, these error coins are pretty scarce and require expert grading. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the 1980 P quarter, smash that like button, subscribe for more coin collecting tips, and drop a comment below. You have any coins you want me to research next? Happy hunting, and remember, sometimes the smallest coins hold the biggest surprises.